Thanks, Godfrey. We are very pleased to have this morning joining us in Bahamas at Sunrise. I like to call him the man within the civil service, and we all know him as Simon Wilson. In fact, we get confused. I don't know how many times you've been called Philip Simon, but certainly I've been called Simon Wilson so many different times. But he is the financial secretary in the Ministry of Finance, joining us once again on Bahamas at Sunrise. Simon, it's so good to see you, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome back.
Thank you again.
So obviously tax and tax reform has been at the forefront of conversations the last several years, and you guys have been quite busy. Let's begin with real property tax. There have been a lot of changes there. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, Philip, so what we're doing is we're trying to broaden the base, identifying properties which were not in the register, add them to the register. At the same time, over the last couple of years, we've been actually lowering the rates. Last year, for example, we lowered the rates for commercial property. We created a new category called residential. So if you have an apartment, you actually pay the residential rate. So that's been a focus on property tax. Lower the rate, broaden the base. Get those persons who are not paying into the tax base, and so persons who pay will actually pay less.
So businesses have seen obviously a lot of communication coming from the Ministry of Finance with regards to real property tax and these assessments.
Yes, so in some cases businesses have made, and individuals have made improvements to their home or property which were not in the register or was not properly captured. So in some cases businesses see higher assessments, and we tend to focus on high-end commercial property and so forth. But at the same time, many persons, smaller households, have now seen their tax liability waived completely.
Okay.
All right. So, for example, if your property is under $250,000, your liability up to this year has been waived completely, which has been a real benefit to many small households and low-income households.
Is there a process to the revaluation in terms of how do you get these values, or is it based on the current market value?
Well, our market value will be used for property taxes, but 6% lower than what is a realtor called the current market value. We use a very subdued valuation model.
Okay.
So there's a process. That process involves us identifying a property, doing a measurement, and then cross-checking against transactions within that area, and then using an adjustment to get the market value. All right, for property tax purposes.
Property tax purposes. Well, let's talk a little bit about the business license process. Obviously, it's been a little refining and fine-tuning of that process. What do businesses need to know?
So we are in the second year of our business license reform process. The focus has been, again, lowering the rate, broadening the base.
Okay.
So VAT provides us with a rich source of information. So in essence, Philip, your VAT returns a total taxable supply, which includes taxable supply, which is standard rated supply, the 7.5%. Exempt supplies where you charge 0, all right, or you exclude, or 0 rated supplies should be equivalent to your business license turnover.
Okay.
Where there are inconsistencies in that, we've been writing letters to businesses and say, explain the inconsistency, or if not, you owe us X amount. But the idea, again, is to broaden the base, lower the rate.
Okay.
And we are really looking forward to, hopefully, as we broaden the base, being able to lower the rate further and further.
Some businesses might say that the process seems intrusive, or it seems like there's just a ton of information that's being requested from them. But again, from your perspective, this is a twofold process. This isn't just about collecting revenue,
but it's also about gathering information. Because many businesses do a lot of business-to-business transactions. Now, they may be compliant, but somebody they're doing business with may not be compliant.
Okay.
And it's about gathering information and attempting to get more people in the tax space. Because as you get more people in the tax space, you are able to give dividends. And dividends are through lowering the rate. And we're really trying to broaden the base and lower the rate.
And obviously, over the last 5 years, that's something that people haven't recognized as much, that the tax rates have gone down in a lot of instances.
Yeah, people, they overlook that.
Okay.
They overlook the fact that property tax, business license, customs duties, all those main tax areas has seen a very appreciable drop in rates and new benefits. For example, returning residents get a car up to $30,000 duty-free, as well as all household goods, all right, which is a huge benefit. Example, in the farmyard, if you build a house in the farmyard, under the Farmland Development Encouragement Act, it is completely duty-free. No matter which farmyard it is, those are huge benefits. You have the East and West Grand Bahama Development incentive program, which is administered by the Ministry of Grand Mamo, which provides hospital creek type benefits to persons who live outside the port area.
Okay.
All those things have come in the last couple of years, which provide significant benefits to residents and Bahamian citizens throughout the country.
You know, that obviously, I mean, you've mentioned it already, it's been at the forefront of conversations over the last several years. From your perspective, and obviously looking in, it seems to have been a success. But there still is this question, you know, and we hear it all the time, where did that money go on, or where the VAT money went? I don't know which one is the best vernacular, but...
Well, I think what persons are asking really is, are you accounting for VAT the same way you account for your other taxes? The answer is yes. So every year the Auditor General tables audit accounts of the government, which we have nothing to do with.
Right.
Auditor General's office is constitutionally independent, and if there was a concern about our use of the VAT money, that would have been flagged in those accounts. However, there is a very good question. What percentage of that VAT money is given back in tax incentives and tax reductions? We have the answer. I think at the political level, they can disseminate the information, but it is significant. I give you one example. We changed the way we calculate customs duty. Small change, but very powerful change. We went from a cost, insurance, and freight to free on board. So in other words, your duty is based on what you pay for the product, not in your shipping costs, not your insurance costs, just what you pay for the product. If you bought in a car recently and then you bought one 5 years ago, you'll probably seen a huge difference in what you paid the government because of this change. That's one example. That's around $35 to $40 million a year that we've given back once we put in place VAT. All right, and that goes every year because it's not a 1 year thing. It goes on and it goes on. It goes on. People ignore at times that, you know, VAT didn't come in and the tax base or the tax structure remained the same. VAT led to a tremendous change in the tax structure, which in essence part of our philosophy of lowering the rate and broadening the base. You know, and that's the one thing that we've been trying to do consistently, and really it's something which it's universally accepted as the best way to deal with taxes. You lower your rates and you broaden your base as opposed to taxing the same people over and over and over again.
Well, listen, certainly we can talk about this all day. There are several more questions. I know you can, definitely. But for persons who are watching, and some of this stuff might be new to them, I mean, where can they get more information, and how can they contact you? Well,
there's the Inland Revenue's website,
the
Department of Inland Revenue's website. There is the Ministry of Finance website, www.finance.gov.bs, inlandrevenue.gov.bs. Those two websites have a lot of information about our strategy. And we haven't even talked about what we plan to do with customs with respect to the electronic single window, which will be a completely paperless environment coming hopefully early next year. We have online property tax where people have to come in the office and pay property tax and stand online, which goes along with online business license, online VAT payments. So we really try to modernize the administration of taxes in this country, try and give benefits to all citizens, you know, to lower rates and more efficient service.
Well, Simon, again, all that simply means is we got to have you back on the show real soon so we can expand this conversation. For those of you who are watching, this is Simon Wilson, the Financial Secretary in the Ministry of Finance. We're very pleased that he joined us this morning. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.